Hey there, how's it going? My name is Brenton, and you might be wondering who I am. So I always tell people that I use the power of words and performance to help people cultivate humanity. So I'm an essayist who writes about different philosophical topics and analyzes texts around how to live really deep and fulfilling lives and how to navigate this very confusing experience that is the human experience and just living in the world. And also I have a cross-disciplinary background in many art forms, which is what a polymath is. Just someone who has deep experience in many areas. So I've been a professional dancer, been in poetry and writing, studying literature, and a few other business things as well. And so I like seeing how can we take the different schemas of different areas of life and bring them all together. But that's enough about me. I have a website, a little blog called The Renaissance Mind, where I talk about different matters of the human experience, and I like to bring in different ideas and texts and things. But at the end of the day, I love writing poetry. I love sharing stories. And so something that's always been really powerful for me is the power of words. And so I am just a lover of words, a word nerd, if you will. And at any given moment, I'm looking up the history of just the most obscure words in Old English, etc. So I thought, what if I did a thing called the Wednesday Word, where I just talked about kind of like a word of the day, but it's just more a word of the week, I suppose, and talked about a different word. So I want to start that. Today, actually I have two words, which is awesome. And it's cool because I'm always surrounded. I read probably 1 to 2 books a week. Sometimes I'll reread certain books that I really love, and I just have a bunch of books strewn about here. Got my little complete works of Plato collection here. Plato's been a really big influence for me philosophically, and many other actually Greek philosophers as well. Got my Sherlock Holmes, love some Arthur Conan Doyle. What else we got here? Piles of books everywhere. Got my Lin-Manuel, my Hamilton book. Hamilton. Big fan of Hamilton. Got new Chris Guillebeau book, Side Hustle. It's a good little book about creating side businesses. It's cool. Great for freelancers, artists, all that stuff. So, and actually I have this cool book here, Waking the Tiger, recommended to me by a wonderful woman, facilitator, leader that I know, about healing psychological traumas. So it's been really cool just thinking about how to bring people together. But anyway, back to the matter at hand, which is the Wednesday Word. So in this Holmes book, actually, I encountered a word a while ago that I really enjoyed, and it is the word, wait for it, the word is imprecate. So to imprecate means to utter a spoken curse against someone. There were many imprecations sprayed at him, so to literally spray imprecations at people. And it comes from the Latin word imprecari, which means to invoke, almost like, it's kind of like a Harry Potter conjuring a spell in a lot of ways, honestly, but it's to spray someone with curses. So it's interesting because it's always interesting to see the kind of arc of the popularity of words over time, because this word apparently was extremely popular in the mid-1800s, late 1800s, even early 1900s, but then just fell out of use. And so often people think that language is fixed and like, oh, a word is a word and it means this, means that, but words come into being and not into being, Facebooking, texting, etc., just because of the way we use them. And sometimes words that shouldn't be words or aren't considered traditional English lexicon words become words because people use them often enough. So language is so fluid, it's always bending and shifting and transforming. So I think that's really wonderful. And so I got 2 words because this is the first one of these that I'm doing. So let's get the second word going, if I can pull it up here. So the second word that I have for you is an awesome word called spulp. So spulp means to basically retain and spread gossip, to be a busybody. We all know somebody who engages in spulping and spulp activities. And this was a word that, almost like Facebooking, was very popular at one very specific point in time, which was like the mid 1800s, so like the late 1800s, especially in England, used in a lot of different like essays and stories. And to be, yes, to basically be a spulp was a very negative thing. So not something you wanted to be called. And so it's interesting because one of the characteristics of this word is tied into like eavesdropping. And actually, eavesdropping comes from Henry VIII. So Henry VIII wanted to change and actually did change he basically took the nation, the kingdom of England at the time, and separated it from the Roman Catholic Church. And so when he had this kind of new Protestantism going, whenever people would walk into these new English churches, there would literally be like little dolls in the eaves looking at people. And so those were literally called eavesdroppers to make sure that people understood the king was always watching you. So Spulp kind of is related to that idea of someone always peeking in to see, ooh, what's going on here. So those are the Wednesday words. Words are wonderful things. They're so powerful. And when we use them in the right way, we can really create worlds and make difference. So those are the Wednesday words. We'll see you next week for the continuation of what should be a fun journey of language. Cheers.